Hey everybody, I'm here today with a video of myself getting rid of black mold under the sink. Now this is a super easy method that you can use and that I commonly use whenever I encounter a situation like this. So right now, as you can see, this is under the sink. And if you take a look right there, I'm just going to zoom in just a bit, you'll see that there is a little bit of black mold under there, okay? Now, the reason that this mold occurred was because there was a small leak under the sink, which, as you can see, we've fixed over here. And then the water accumulated and caused this mold to arise. Now, the main idea when you want to get rid of mold to make sure that it doesn't come back is to fix the cause of the water or the moisture or the dampness. So we've done that. So now we have to get rid of the mold. And the easiest way that I have done this is with a mold control spray just like this. Now, this is a simple spray that I just got at my local hardware store. It's Concrobium, I believe that's how you pronounce it, mold control spray. But there are all sorts that are similar to this. You want to make sure that you read through the directions and the instructions, see if it asks you to use a respirator or how long it takes to dry. But what you essentially want to do is you want to spray on the mold, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what I do after this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray on the mold, then I'm going to walk away because I'm only targeting a small area, just a few sprays, but I don't want to deal with any of the fumes or anything like that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that it's on. We're going to aim it right there, and we're just going to spray the moldy area just like that, just a little bit. Okay, let's just get something coming out. There we go. Okay, so you want to spray a decent amount to the moldy area. Now I'll get myself in the camera frame over here. And essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry for about 24 hours. Then once that dries for 24 hours, the mold will be killed under the sink. The mold will be destroyed under the sink. Now, it might not look like it because you might still see some black, but the spores will be gone. And that's what you want. Then once the spores are gone, after 24 hours, I'm going to paint over it with a mold control paint. So essentially that's going to be a paint that basically completely encapsulates any remaining mold there. Okay, there won't be any spores, but anything that's remaining, it's going to encapsulate it and protect it. I'm going to let that dry for 24 hours, and then I'm going to put some trim paint under there throughout the entire duration of the base of the sink. And that additional trim paint will essentially protect that base of the sink. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically spray that, let it dry for 24 hours, paint some mold control, any type of mold paint on top of it, let it dry for 24 hours, then paint with some trim paint. And when you paint with that trim paint, you can even do 2 or 3 coats. As long as everything beneath it is dry, you can do 2 or 3 coats because that's going to protect it. And if you use trim paint like a semi-gloss or a gloss, it's going to give it an added layer of protection as well. And then once that dries, and if you fixed the problem of the leak or the moisture or the dampness, you should be good to go. Now, don't be alarmed. Mold under the sink is a very common problem. Many people go through it because guess what? Your sink is an area where there is lots of water, lots of moisture. And if any of that water falls down and sits there, especially if you have a liner like we had there, then it's going to sit there and it's going to cause mold. Now, just to allow you to understand the full situation, my wife and I are in our new house and the mold was already there. So it's not like we let it sit there for months. You know, it was already there when we got here. But that's how to get rid of black mold under the sink. You want to make sure that you get rid of the mold spores. That's step number 1. You want to encapsulate any mold that's remaining. Step number 2. Step number 3 is you want to protect the layer at the bottom of the sink. And, you know, obviously make sure that you fixed the leak or the moisture problem, and the mold should technically not come back. If it does come back, you try it again and you should be good to go at that point. And that's it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.